Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited about networking with everybody out there. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. My first guest has been on with me, oh my gosh, at least a year or so now. 2 years.
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
Like 2 years,
think about 2 years.
2 years. I have with me Karen Rossner, and she's the owner of KMR Medical Debt Solutions. And I want you first. Let me just tell you about this little lady that is sitting next to me. She's not a little at all with everything that you've ever done, everything you've ever been through. You've been through so much, and you love helping other people. And I love that about you, and thank you. I want you to tell everybody first a little bit about yourself, your background. You're also the author of My 12 Hours Aren't Up Yet, and I want you to talk a little bit about your book. But listen up, everyone, because one of the things that people deal with the most, I think, is probably number one up there, is their medical debt,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So first talk a little bit about yourself and the book and how you got to where you are. And I'll stop talking so you have time to do that.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Carol, again. For a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Massachusetts. I call it the cold country, especially during the winter. I have 6 older brothers and a younger sister, mom and dad. And we're a typical family, but when I was born, the family got a little shaken up because of my heart condition. I was born with a serious heart condition. Mom took me home from the hospital, and then she noticed that I wasn't crying, and I wasn't crying to be fed, I wasn't crying to be changed. And she talked to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician's like, oh, she's a good baby. Mom said, I know a good baby. She had 6 before me. And I know when there's trouble, and there's trouble with her. And he goes, oh, well, we'll see her at her appointment. Well, I was being baptized, and it started turning blue.
Oh, boy.
And creases in my mouth, my lips, my fingernails, and toenails. And they rushed me to the hospital. And I had double pneumonia, and my heart was twice the size it was supposed to be. So Mom was right, there was trouble. And they flew me to Boston Children's Hospital, where that was my home for the next year. And I had to have an emergency open heart surgery at 9 weeks old. And then I was born at 7'15", but went down to below 5 pounds because of my condition. And so they try to gain weight and everything, and I went in 9 months I gained 9 ounces. So and for my reward, if you want to call it that, I had operation number 2. So, and then it went on throughout my life. I had 6 open heart surgeries in total. And then as I was getting older, it was getting worse, and I was always at the doctor's or hospital. And I say that Boston Children's Hospital was my home. My parents' home was my second home, because I was not very rarely there. But then as I got older and got into my teens, and when I was in 7th grade, I went into atrial flutter, AFib, so I was on medication for that. Then I had scoliosis, so I had back surgery for that. I have a rod in my back. And I went through a lot, and then I had my baby. I wasn't supposed to have that, but I did. And then about 42, they said that my condition is deteriorating. My heart is deteriorating from the inside out, and that in December of 2005, they said in about 2 or 3 years you're going to need a transplant. I'm like, okay, I've heard it before. January of 2006, just a few weeks later, I ended up back in the hospital, and they're like, all right, we're going to work you up for a transplant. I'm like, what? Hold on, time out. You said 2 or 3 years. It's only been 3 weeks. He goes, and the difference in the time. I can tell time. I don't think you can. So I was
shocked.
Yeah, very surprised that it was happening so fast. And so they tested me. I got on the list on February 28th. of 2006, and I had my heart transplant on April 21st, 2006.
And one thing that you always say is that they told me you couldn't, so I did.
That's why I did.
That's why I did, and that's why she does everything. And let me just tell you, I mean, I have gotten to know you now over the couple of years that we've known each other here. And you have an amazing life that you've been on, an amazing journey. You do not let life get in your way at all. And I think I want to ask you about those heart transplants really quickly, okay? Because that was 20 some odd years ago that you, let's say, had your heart transplant.
It was 19 years ago.
19 years ago, and that was, things were a lot different then,
Mhm.
okay? That was like very rare that somebody would
Well,
have
they're
one.
getting more,
But
they're
now-
more popular, and they're getting popular now
Now.
because they have better technology.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I was ready for my transplant, because of the blood transfusions I had as a child, and a baby, back in the 60s and 70s, I was born in 63. Back in the 60s and 70s and early 80s, they didn't test the blood. So I remember I was shocked and everything when I was pregnant with my son, and they were doing tests. They're like, "Oh, your syphilis test came back positive." And I looked right straight to my husband. I was like, "I didn't cheat." Those are the first words and they're like, "No, it's because of the blood transfusions when I was
Right,
younger."
right.
But they did a more sensitive test, and thank goodness it was a false positive.
Mhm.
So I did not and do not have syphilis.
But
thank goodness.
Now, during all this time that has gone by in your work, you are a social worker, that you've been doing that for over 30 years.
38
38
and
years.
counting.
I love when people correct me, but the other thing that I want to say is that where you work most of the time is with people who need liver transplants, and that's another thing that you do for people like that. You help them get through it, right? Get one. I mean, that's a whole process in itself.
I've been, like you said, I've been a social worker for 38 years. I've been in different venues of the social work. I've been child welfare, adoption, and then I went into medical social work, and I've been in that sense. And, with my training and with the things that I have been through myself, it's, I get both sides of the story for the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to let them know, hey, I've been in that bed many a times and come out of it fine. And it gives them more hope and more encouragement.
Right, and you are a coach. That's who you are.
My
a coach.
business.
That's right. That's her business. But that is what you are in life, because just to get one of those, especially a liver transplant, you've got to go through a lot.
Well, no, not just for a liver. You have to go through a lot for all the transplants.
But that you're helping them and all through the way, from the beginning to getting one. And I love that about what you do to help people, in that way. But what you do most outside of that is help.
Is my coaching business,
Yeah.
and it's to help people with medical debt and people that have had transplants. And I help them through the process, and they have medical bills that they don't understand, and they have medical bills backed up to yay high, and after I get a hold of them, the pile from here goes down to here.
Exactly. We're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back and talk further, because medical debt has got to be like number one top debt that people are in, and she can help you get out of it fast, and that's what we're going to talk about when we get back.
Or reduce it.
And you can check her out on her website. It's yourdebtfreequickly.com. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute.
I hear the clicking of my earrings.
Oh, is it your earring? Okay.
Do you want me to take them out?
No.
Take them out.
I'll say it that way.
Reduce it.
Yeah. So, we're still live in the room, and I'm glad you got to talk a little bit about that part, because you never do, right? We never talk about what you do now, and what you do now is in your social working is just helping people. Again, it's always, that's where you were born to help people.
Right.
You're here to help people. That's why you survive. That's why you're a survivor.
Yep.
because you help people who are going through that kind of a thing, who have been through that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And now with the debt, it's also another one that people, that you've been through yourself.
Right, right. And with the debt, I've helped many of people through my career with their budgets and with, and they're saying, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. And I look at their spending and I look at their budget and I get them, and they're like, I get them on the right track. And they're like, can you come more? And I'm like, well, I'm in this job. At that time, I should have started the business sooner rather before I did.
Oh.
So, but I would have helped more people, but I really enjoy helping people, and I'm working with a client now, and for just debt, and she was going out to eat so much, and for the month, and she was spending over $700 and out to eat. And she goes, I don't do that. I said, yeah, you do. And this is the numbers you gave me. And now she's curbed that, and she could pay on her debt.
You know, a lot of people, especially older people, and living alone,
Yep.
or people living alone, find it easier to go out and eat than cooking and doing it all for one, at home.
Right.
So they end up spending a lot of money, going out with friends or the restaurant or what have you. And I mean, if they really looked at it, like, you must show them.
I do.
I mean,
I
when
do.
if you can just cook at home, 5
Yep.
nights a week instead of going out 5 nights a week, you're saving yourself a ton of money.
Yes, and if you're cooking, you're getting
And it's
healthier
better.
food.
Exactly.
You're getting healthier food.
It's better. Is it okay?
Yep, now it is.
So welcome back, everyone. And what I want to do is open up the lines in the audience for everyone to get entered in to win a copy of Karen's book. It's called My 12 Hours Aren't Up Yet. You are a award-winning
Yes.
author as well. You can get this on Amazon, but you can also call me here and get it for free. And here's it's a wonderful story of her life, but how it's an inspiration for other people. And so our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free is 1-866-536-1100. And we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for the book. My 12 Hours Aren't Up Yet. Now, during the break, we've been talking a little bit about people and their debt, right? And how many people can relate to being in debt today,
Right.
and especially medical debt.
Yes.
Now, you can help people with both any kind of financial debt that people are in, but you like to focus on the medical debt.
Medical debt, yes,
Right.
I do help anybody with the debt, but yes, I do like the medical debt because it's challenging.
Mhm.
And I remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, my first brother ended up in the hospital because he had a condition. His skin was just peeling off of him, and he was in isolation. And he was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And Mom and Dad got the bill for $250. That was his medical bill. That was back in 1953.
But $250 back in 1953
Was a lot of
was
money.
a lot of money.
Yes, and then 10 years later, when I was in the hospital for 2 weeks in ICU and everything, mine was $2,500. 10 years. Now it's thousands of dollars.
Are you kidding me? It's so much money
Yes.
now. You can be in there one night and you're in debt for the rest of your
Yeah.
life.
And it's expensive. And a lot of what I see from the clients that have medical debt is something sometimes very easy, is that one, the hospital didn't get your insurance correctly. or they don't have your insurance at all. That's an easy fix, just calling them. But then you have the EOB, explanation of benefits. You want to look at that, and then when you get the bill, you want to compare it to your explanation of benefits. Say, okay, this is good, what's this? And you circle the faults or duplicates, or you don't know what that expense is for.
Well, the reason why you call Karen is because people out there, first of all, she has been in this field, the medical field, for over 38 years, you said, and
Yeah,
give or
but
take.
I've been in the field for all my life, because I've been a patient, and I am
So
I'm a
all her
patient.
life,
Yeah,
all her
yeah.
life, I'll say it that
So-
way. But I wanna say this for people out there, because she knows the codes, she knows what's right, she
Right.
knows what to look for. These are the things that you don't know at all. There's no way that you would know how to do it. So if it's you or someone that you know, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about in any way, this is what she loves helping people with. And you have helped people, not only do you do it so that it's done quickly for people. You try and do it as fast as possible.
Well, yes, with the medical debt. Now, as of today, I have saved people for this year alone about $70,000 in medical debt.
Well, there you go, that's
With
awesome.
my clients in there, and just a few days ago, working, and I saved a couple of $1,000 just with a couple of phone calls. And with me, I know how to talk to the providers, I know how to talk with the insurance companies. I tell my clients that I like to advocate for you for medical bills.
I love the way you put that.
So, and I do advocate for you and for the clients. I had a client that had an ambulance ride for $6,300 after a couple of phone calls, because we were waiting for the VA to see if the VA was going to take care of it. When we found that the VA wasn't going to take care of it, that ambulance ride, that bill of $6,300 went down to $140.73.
Wow. Now, you're listening to this, you can't believe, but you only have to call her. She does free consultations for people, and maybe it's you or someone that you know. That's what networking's all about. Let's get that medical debt, if not wiped out, reduced, right?
It reduced. Yeah.
Tremendously. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the biggest part of it all. Getting it reduced it's like a weight off your shoulder.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
and it's less stress, and you can sleep better at night, and, and that's what I do. I enjoy taking the stress away from you, the client, and put it on, and I don't really stress about it. I do my job, and I get it reduced, and I talk, and then I make you guys feel better. So, and I reduce or eliminate debt one bill at a time.
There you go. I love that too. So her phone number is 808-253-1157. But go to her website, which is yourdebtfreequickly.com. I want to talk about real quick, because we're going to come back to a break and do it again, but about the support group that you are starting.
Yes, I decided I had this great idea. Sometimes people don't stop me on my great ideas. No, I had this great idea that I am going to start a support group, a financial support group. And that's going to be a safe place for people to call in if they have debt, if they have questions, and to have somebody there, and most of all, so they know that they're not alone with the medical debt, because it happens all over the country, and it happens in your backyard, and I want a safe place for you guys to talk about your debt, and no judgment, and it's confidential. So for anybody that's in the group, they will not be discussing, hey, George on our support group has $1 million in medical debt. No, we're not gonna do that. So it's just a safe place for them, and I want to help them, and it's gonna be starting tomorrow, August 13th, at 6:30 to 8 p.m. Arizona time, but anybody in the country could join. and it's, just go to my website, yourdebtfreequickly.com, or give me a call at 808-253-1157, and we will get you on the link, and I will be putting it on my Facebook page also.
So tomorrow from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And it's a place where you Arizona time. There's a place. It is a place for you to have people who are in the same shoes as you, and being able to have a safe place where you can talk about it. And obviously you'll be the facilitator of everything.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And you go to the website, which is yourdebtfreequickly.com. You can also call her. Her phone number is 808-253-1157. Now, when you work with people, I do want to ask you this question. Does it matter how much or how little they are in debt?
No,
No?
I
Okay.
help everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help everybody, and that's what I'm here for, and I want to, because your debt, you don't wanna talk about it with other people at times, or you feel embarrassed
Right.
that you have the medical debt, and with me, it's not embarrassing,
Right.
it's something I do, okay, and I don't judge.
Here's the thing though, one of the things that we wanna be is out of debt, completely.
Yes,
With whatever it is you have, financial debt, medical debt goes with you forever, it doesn't go away.
no,
It doesn't go away. And sometimes people get it put into collections and all sorts of things start to happen. And they go after you the same way, they're gonna keep on calling and all of that. And in the meantime, there could be, just by chance, having Karen take a look at it, that she can get it reduced where it's doable.
right, right.
When you owe, let's say, $150,000 worth of medical debt, that's not doable.
No.
But when you reduce it
Yep.
and you get it down, let's say, to $20,000 or
Or maybe
10,000,
even, yep,
whatever, as low as you can go, you probably can do that. It's doable, and now you don't feel like it's out of control,
right,
right?
right.
And a lot else happens when you do that, because when you are fixing your debt, you're also fixing your credit at the same time.
Yep, and you are fixing your credit, and with any that, reducing your debt, will help your credit score. But I don't do it for that, I do it for the peace of mind. And I know people get anxious about their medical debt and regular debt, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
To reduce the stress.
Yeah, everybody can relate to that for sure. Thank you for saying it, because, when you have debt, you're not sleeping at night. You can check her out on her website. It's yourdebtfreequickly.com. Hang tight, we're gonna be back in just a minute. Am I doing okay?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Good. I want to talk a little bit when we come back more about the support group.
Mhm.
And, as tomorrow is your first one.
Yes.
Are you planning anything during that? It's a couple hours, so,
It's an hour and a half,
okay.
and what I'm planning is just
Introduction,
introductions
okay.
and just talking and seeing. When I do my support groups for work, there's we do introductions, and then I have a very mindless question, like, do you have any animals? What's your favorite color? Like something, an icebreaker.
Right.
And I go around the room and they have to answer that question. It's just like, yeah, my favorite color is blue, Something that we can learn a little bit more about them, but it's not like, so, where was your first,
Right. But we wanna talk about how people, when they're together and doing something like that, I think what happens more than anything is that they find out that they're not alone in the world, right? A lot of
Right.
people who have debt, they get embarrassed and they feel like they're losers,
Yep,
right?
yep.
No, they're not losers.
And, with medical debt, it's like, they're sick. They're not gonna be really, concentrating on their bills at that time.
Yeah, that's
They're
another thing to talk
recovering.
about.
They're recovering either surgery, transplants, anything, you know. It's something that they're not gonna be focused on the medical debt or on their
But they
debt.
can't,
No.
and they shouldn't.
And they want
They
to.
should be focusing on themselves
On
and
the
how they
recovery.
feel. Oopsie.
On the recovery, and that's what you want them to do.
Right,
So-
and that is important. It's probably the most important thing.
Yes, and that's what I wanna focus on, and then when, in the group, we'll just talk about general stuff, and, you know, a lot of times I go by the seat of my pants with support groups, and it's good.